Nerd News Cafe, Stir It Up, with Matt, Landon, and Justin.
Get ready to stir it up. It is episode 31, or round 31, whichever you believe you live in. This is Matt.
This is Justin.
And I saved $100 on this weekend's Mayweather-McGregor fight. My name's Landon Doan. Ask me how.
How?
I didn't order it. Seriously.
Hey, you know what? I did watch it, though. I watched it in its entirety. Thanks, Periscope.
Yeah.
Or Facebook Live, in my case.
I missed 30 seconds of one round because I had to watch one went down and I jumped on another.
Yeah,
Exactly.
The PP View people were trying very desperately to knock all those periscopes and stuff out, and then another one would just pop up.
Oh, yeah.
It was like plugging a hole, in the side of a ship.
Oh, yeah.
Like
This is like putting your hands over the Titanic wreck. My favorite with the one I was watching was this guy was like, "Hey, if we get shut down, here's my Instagram. We're doing it on there." He goes, "And then if you go, you guys are on Instagram. When we get kicked off of there, we'll be on YouTube." I mean, he was already like one to the other, and he lived in I don't know. He had a real thick British accent. He evidently gave no F's about paying for it. So
I gave no F's about the fight, so I didn't watch it or follow it. And guess what? What happened?
it was a good fight.
Mayweather won.
It was a good fight.
Surprise!
I know. Well, Merriweather won how a boxer wins, and he outlasted him.
Yeah.
You know? Well, and that...
Though I will say, kind of a cop-out move, TKO in the 10th round. Like, we didn't pay for the ref to stop the fight. Let one of them, Mayweather, put the other one, McGregor, on his ass.
Well, you know why that is. If he gets a concussion...
Rematch!
Nope.
That's why this is.
No
sequel.
No one will pay for it. But if he gets a concussion...
I don't know. McGregor won the first 3 rounds, and I've seen a lot of people say just based on that, there's enough for a rematch. So they're going to make another $100 million.
But no one's going to pay for that. That's the thing, is that you got to get the people behind it.
And this one, and everybody knew what was going to happen.
Everybody wanted to see an MMA guy go against a boxer, but you're never going to see the opposite of that because it'll be catastrophic.
Yes, because Mayweather would die if he stepped into an octagon.
Absolutely would, because McGregor had a serious problem. I know this is UFC talk now. He had a serious problem
with drinking.
He did.
Yeah, sorry, Dad.
You could not stop him. He was like,
I thought it was
on
his
Mike Tyson's Punch Out, Pensacola. He just kept drinking, and I was like, golly, he's really taking this role serious. No, he every time he got bundled up with him, the hugging, he wanted to hammer down on his head, and the ref's like,
he tried to.
He did it several times, but his face was like a child caught in the candy bowl. He was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. This is my training." And that's going to be hard to kind of go. To breed out of somebody who's naturally wants to beat somebody to death.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? The current reigning defending WWE Universal Champion Brock Lesnar can do it. So if the Beast Incarnate, a literal monster, can do it, Conor McGregor can do it.
Did he get his leg broke in 30 seconds?
No, but neither did Brock.
Yeah, I think so. I think he
No.
got... Oh, no,
Welcome to Suplex City, bitch.
I'm not a Lesnar fan. And UFC, anyway. I've never been a fan.
I prefer my man-on-man violence to be a little bit more scripted and involve folding chairs.
Oh, don't get me wrong. I totally see the draw. The storylines, during the time I watched was phenomenal. So,
and Sable had a killer rack too.
She did, and she put guns on it, and I saw she had a couple clubs from like her golf game and stuff like that. It was really cool, handmade.
And she's married to Brock Lesnar too. So.
And she is married to Brock Lesnar. Good up for him.
Yes, good up for him.
Because his face looks like somebody pounded it with a shovel.
I'm
and
backing
then
away
ran
from
him
my
over.
microphone.
What's he gonna do? Come at me, Brock.
He might. He's scary.
Come at me, Brock.
Dad, save us.
Yeah, so let's get away from all this talk that no one gives two shits about.
I just wasn't speaking because I don't follow any kind of fighting sports.
He's non-aggressive.
But you were smart enough to not badmouth Brock Lesnar because you do know he will take you to suplex.
Who was it we were talking trash about and we were calling out? Was it? Who was it?
Who do we not?
Yeah, I was going to say, you're going to have to be a bit more specific.
Was it? No, there was somebody
I wake up like Kevin Garnett just saying the F word.
There was like a couple weeks in a row that we had gone at somebody, and I was like, come on, bring it on. And then, was it? No, it wasn't. It was Kevin Hart. That's who it was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, you were short on memory of him.
I was.
Oh, snap.
Come at us, Gavin.
Take that, you Keebler.
So Brock Lesnar's going to have to stand in line behind Kevin Hart, and then also
he'll be able to see to the front of the line, so that's good.
Oh God.
and Andy McDowell as well, because we.
Oh yeah, yeah. Because you were like, I'm not sure if she was pretty ever.
So she's second in line. And then
I'm
Brock
actually
Lesnar.
most worried about Andy McDowell right now. So
Have you seen her? That's like one of those quick bait titles. Have you seen Andy McDowell lately?
Let me tell you. Let me tell you the quickest way. Let me tell you the quickest way for me not to read your article. If I see the word "shut down" or "put them in their place," or the words "how they look now," any of those titles, I am done to death with. I don't read.
or
Yeah,
a
but did
new
you
one.
see what Amanda Bynes looks like lately?
I don't. I don't give a what she looks like.
Can I add a caveat? Blank business is ruined by millennials.
Oh yeah, that's a terrible one. Anything that's got the word millennial in it, I pass up
Yeah,
to.
that
I'm like,
right there, it's like, okay, yeah,
leave
I'm
alone.
out.
But yeah, J.K. Rowling must have no time to read, because I have seen a billion articles, or that's a real loose word to use with them. But a billion things on the news is like, J.K. Rowling shut this person down. J.K. Rowling put this person in their place on Twitter. I'm like, she must have nothing else, but this is what she does all day long.
She's made her money.
Yeah.
This is what you do with retirement?
Why not?
No.
Internet trolling.
Start Hogwarts
That's what Landon
for real.
plans on doing.
True. We do direct a lot of our trolling to him.
Landon's got to make his money, and then he'll do internet trolling for the rest of his life.
Yeah, seriously, she has rich fuck you money, and she trolls. I don't even have money, and I troll.
Well, speaking of money and people who don't have it, Justin, do you want to kind of jump into your comics?
It is time to talk about the thing that is causing me to go bankrupt, Comic Book Corner.
I
Yeah.
think that's my favorite intro of all.
I'm going to
It's
talk
funny
about it,
because
and you're going to listen. Is that what I said last time?
Yep.
I said something like
That's
that.
that's a good one. I think you should hang on to it.
Let's talk about the books
Yeah,
that
let's-
you're going to listen to. I don't know. It was something like that. I need to come up with,
Let's
like,
talk about books,
baby.
Let's talk about. Sorry, no, that didn't work.
Last week, I only picked up Generations, which was the Wolverine, the best, and the Edge of Venomverse
Correct.
last time. This week, I caught up on a few things. I'm going to talk about a couple of them. First being X-Men Blue and Gold. X-Men Gold is kind of in a crazy place right now. Surprise, surprise. There's a slew, a gaggle, a plethora of Russian gangsters
A plethora.
that have all learned the ways of magic, and they resurrected an old enemy, Omega Red.
You know what?
Oh, boy.
He's an underutilized villain.
Well, because he'd been dead.
He's been dead a long time.
He'd been dead.
I done tell you he'd be dead.
But the Russian,
No one's ever dead.
no, not in soap operas or in comic books.
That's right. He just had a head trauma, and we found out. We thought it was a coma, and then he died from it. But no, he was just shipped to another hospital that we didn't know about.
In this case, the explanation he really
They
did
rezzed
dead,
him.
and they rezzed him. And the only
Got their
thing
DLC
keeping-
necromancer.
yeah. And now he's got an army of skeletons that's taking every panel in this comic book is an army of skeletons.
They have to
Every
introduce him.
pixel is a skeleton.
They have to introduce them individually. This is Harvey.
Yeah.
This is Bill.
The whole book. This is Boney number 1. This is Boney number 2.
They don't have names.
No, so the only thing keeping him alive is his ability to siphon life force from other people, and apparently his existence is really temporary. It's fleeting, like my hair, and
Jeez.
so the X-Men have been called to Russia, to Soviet Russia, because Cyclops gets a call from his long lost uncle, who he thought was dead. Another person we thought was dead, but guess what? He wasn't. Yeah. So they go to investigate this because he's like, we need your help. Something bad's happening. And so they go. And, they in this one, they kind of get jumped. They get ambushed a bit. And, hey! So, my headphones are getting stolen right now. Speaking of getting jumped and ambushed, UA's trying to take the headphones. She's like, you're done.
By the way,
Segment
shout out
over.
to UA for taking my place last week. I know normally you like a big, giant, hairy mammal to lay on your feet. I'm glad UA was there.
She did a good job with that.
Yeah.
But anyway, the plot is just thickening here. So we're gonna see what happens. Old Man Logan in this one is talking about like I guess he's the one that took out Omega Red originally, and they just talk about this is a bad dude. So
Yeah, oh yeah, Omega Red's like nasty. I mean, wasn't that the whole? Well, wasn't that who Weapon X went after? Wasn't that the original person that they?
my comic book history is not quite as versed as Landon's is. Landon might know.
Landon, wasn't that a Weapon X villain?
Omega Red definitely did go after some weapon or some weapons of the Weapon X project, but unfortunately, Weapon X in my comic history is kind of a blind spot because much like time travel, it gets convoluted anytime Weapon X gets involved.
Yep.
True.
All right. I'm going to move on to X-Men Blue, and this one I think is going to be a little more interesting because, again,
I'll be the judge of that.
Please take a look at the cover, and can you please tell me what you see here at the top of the cover?
Oh, goodness.
It is the Hydra symbol right next to X-Men Blue, and that's because this one, for the last couple issues, has been kind of playing in the sandbox of Secret Empire. So I talked about on the last one how they've set up this kind of safe zone. It's almost its own nation in California. They call it New Tian? I don't know. It's Tian. I don't know how you would say it.
Oh, is that the
Tian.
thing from Logan?
There's actually a mutant named... No, never mind. I'm
Okay.
thinking of something else. Please continue.
Were you thinking of Burt Reynolds?
Yes. No, I was actually
Patrick
thinking
Swayze.
But essentially what's happened is the X-Men Blue team has found themselves in New Tian, and they were thrown into Alcatraz because they were considered dissenters to the new order in New Tian, which is led by Emma Frost and Havoc. And so she's kind of running the show out there. Well, so this one starts with them kind of breaking out of their restraints, and she essentially her whole goal was to get a hold of Scott Summers because Emma thinks that she can get a hold of this young Cyclops and kind of mold him to the man she wants him to be.
Oh, gosh.
And so so there's some
Always a
real.
woman trying to change a man. You know
That's
what I mean?
exactly what it is.
You hear what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
And what's the deal with corn nuts?
So they break out and try to get a hold of or get free Cyclops because he is definitely under some psychic control. And at first he starts to optic blast all around. It's like he's like Oprah handing out optic blast.
You get a blast and you get a blast.
Yeah. The interesting part of this is, of course, they end up breaking Emma Frost's hold on Cyclops. They get him away, and they kind of just hightail it out of there. So, like, we need to make some tracks and kind of regroup a little bit. At the end of it, we get to see, and the X-Men Blue team is working for Magneto.
Yes.
So at the end, we see a little interaction between Captain America shows up and has
Stevel
shows
Stevel.
up, and he's like talking to Magneto, and he's like, "We had an agreement. Your people are not supposed to be meddling in the affairs that are going on in the new, Hydra United States." And he's like, "I can't control what the X-Men are doing. I don't know what you're thinking, but I have no control over them." And but the thing is,
Classic Magneto.
he has. But see, he sent Polaris out to help them. So he's not helping, but Polaris is there, and she's helping the X-Men Blue team right now. So
I didn't move my mouse. Someone moved it.
yeah, and
I wasn't home when that happened.
Exactly.
I can't prove it was me.
so basically, Captain America's like, I can end this agreement if it's not going to go the way we said it was going to go. And Magneto's like, the reason you struck an agreement was because you can't take me down. Essentially, is what he told
Nice.
us. So yeah,
Magneto.
How do you like that shield up your ass?
exactly. So there's some tension going on there, and I just think this one was pretty good because it's kind of like what we talked about with the movies. Like it's its own little standalone story, but it's existing in alongside what's going on with Secret Empire,
Flirting with the other universes, but not dedicated to it.
Yeah,
Cool.
So, and while we're on the subject of a weird Captain America character, let's get back to Edge of Venomverse.
Oh, man. This is what we were waiting on.
This was the Deadpool one, and it really was Deadpool. We were correct. This is the grossest one I've read in a long time. This comic is just gross. Gross. Yeah, it is. He starts out, he's eating an apple, and it's got a tapeworm in it, and it's real. It is. It starts out that way, and then Deadpool goes in to break up this laboratory where they're doing experimentation with parasitic organs, and it's really, really weird. Essentially, what happens is there's worms like that want to crawl in your throat and up your butt, and they're everywhere. And there are these people that they're almost like zombie-like people that Deadpool, he like decapitates them, and these worms come out of their necks and like grab the heads and like try to reattach it. And they're basically being controlled by the worms inside of them. They try to get in Deadpool, and he's like, "Hey, this is the first date. I never do, Deadpool things."
Yeah.
And,
oh boy, I can see where this is getting gross.
At one point, he starts talking about somebody's knocking on the back door, and he's not okay with that. Yeah.
That's Deadpool.
Well, in order to get himself out, he sees there's a symbiote in a jar, which, everybody has a symbiote in a jar.
Symbiote in a jar.
And
I get that reference.
So he busts open the jar, and then the symbiote comes forth and saves him essentially from the worms. It's kind of a gross process because it shows a lot of
sentence you just said. The
I know.
symbiote saved him from the worms.
Yeah, inside his body. There's actually several panels that show the symbiote fighting back the worms that are inside of him, which is pretty gross.
So he's got gut rot, and he took a symbiote. It's like an Alka-Seltzer.
Yeah. The end of this one I wanted to get to was after Deadpool does his job in cahoots with the symbiote because essentially what's happening is these doctors are creating these parasitic organs and putting them in people. So he goes to the hospital, kills everybody. And then of course, like all the other symbioted out heroes, he gets kind of sucked into a portal. And it goes a little further than it typically has, and it shows the Captain America figure like saying, "Come on, we've got a war to fight." And he says, "All right." He says something like, "Yes, sir, Sarge." And he says, "It's Captain." So verification.
Yeah,
it is.
Yep,
it's
it's
Captain
Cap.
America.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
like
crazy.
You needed it.
I know I didn't need it.
I
but,
know.
but
Yeah,
it came nonetheless.
Evidently, there are some real dullards that read.
This week's Generations was the Thunder. So
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is the ones where we talk to each other. Was it interesting?
yeah, this one I actually like this one a lot. This one is Thor, the unworthy Thor.
Because I wasn't sure how far she was removed from the original Thor. Like, did she ever get to meet
Oh yeah,
him, or was she?
Yeah, she actually talks about she has a relationship with Thor. Like she knows him
Okay.
really well. She's known him for a long time. But again, this one is the mighty Thor. Jane, what's her name?
Jane Foster.
Foster. That's right. She gets sucked back in time to before Thor could ever even pick up Mjolnir.
Really?
Yeah. So he spends his afternoons trying to, and he can lift it up like an inch off the pedestal. And Odin comes in and he's like, "Stop wasting your time," blah blah blah. And he's like, "Look, I got it up an inch this time. I'm almost worthy." And he's like, "You need to not be worried about that. You need to worry about your duties as Odin's son."
Yeah.
So he essentially he hears a prayer. There's some big party that's going on, and he's supposed to put on his formal wear and make an appearance at this party in Asgard. And instead, he shows up. He talks to one of there's like a server walking around. He's like, "Bring me all the mead, all of it." And he's like, "Actually, your father said you can't have any until you're done entertaining these people." And he's like, "Oh God, I can't believe I can't pick up Mjolnir. I can't do this. I can't have mead." And then he hears,
Dad.
"Geez, Dad." Then he hears
God.
a prayer is lifted up to him, and he's like, "Oh, gotta go." And so he bolts. And essentially, the prayer was for strength, but instead he says divine intervention is going to be what he serves up for the day. and
Typical God.
The Vikings have sailed up the Nile and they're fighting the Egyptians, but the Egyptians are aided by Apocalypse.
Oh.
So,
Oh boy.
yeah. So he shows up.
Ruh-roh.
And it turns out that the idea was put in the Vikings' head by Loki. And essentially they were trying to it was a trap. He wanted Thor to come down there and get smashed by Apocalypse. Well, at that time, that's when Jane shows up. So he's like, she zaps in there holding Mjolnir, and he's like, "Hold on a minute, what the crap?"
Yeah.
And so there's an interesting moment where, an interesting back and forth, but at least he realizes, obviously, if she's holding that, she's worthy, she's on my side, and while he doesn't necessarily know who she is, they fight Apocalypse together. And so that was a pretty good little turnabout. And then she gets zapped out of there. But in this case, I think, again, this one was more affecting Thor than it was Jane Foster. Because she essentially tells him that he needs to one of his strengths. Well, it's both really, because one of his strengths is being a god for the people and not really the godly duties. On the other side, she is on the verge of giving up her human form because she has cancer. She's tired of fighting this battle, and she's like, I'm just going to hold Mjolnir forever and just be a god.
Yep.
But he reminds her the value of the reason that you're worthy is because you're a god for the people. So
Until you die.
until you die of cancer.
Yeah.
So that's what's going on there. And it was good. She gets zapped out of there, of course. And
So you have 2 Mjolnirs in one universe.
yeah, but he wasn't holding Mjolnir.
No.
He
I
had
was
the
just saying
axe.
that's entertaining.
Yeah, he was holding the axe.
But if she went rogue, she could have gotten dual-wielded Mjolnirs.
Oh, man.
Double meow meows.
and she could have, it would, really would have been hammer time.
Yes, every time literally from coast to coast, LA to Chicago.
That's right.
So,
Even though Chicago's not on the East Coast. Never mind.
close enough.
It's a coast.
It was a rap song. It doesn't have to make sense.
So that's all I'll bring in today. I did pick up the second Unholy Grail, which is good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
bought-
Yeah. He has the Holy Grail there.
Unholy Grail 2.
Looks like Merlin.
You bought the Holy Grail?
I
Damn.
did. They sell it at the drugstore.
The case has everything.
They do.
And then I got Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man number 3.
That's crazy looking.
All right.
And I do have
Ah.
Hulk 8. I guess 9 hadn't come in yet. It's already out, but I didn't get it yet. So still
Because you
following
need
that
gas
path.
in your car.
Yeah, I did. But I already paid for the Hulks. It's on its way.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm excited about our hot and streamy. I think we need to move
yeah.
on. So
Yeah, so here's the time where I asked for my Peter Frampton talk box, Hot and Streamy. For this edition of Hot and Streamy, I'm going to need a little bit of help. Hey, Jay, are you ready?
ready.
I mean, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Maestro, hit it. Yeah. Yes, it is that time of the year where we ask ourselves as Americans, are we ready for some football? And generally the answer is yes, because this past Friday, Madden 18 was released on PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and every platform that you play your video games on. Nothing new this time of year. Madden always does come out. Gameplay-wise, it still feels like the same element that you've gotten year after year with some tweaks. Nothing that feels out of the norm so far. I'll let you know if anything comes across that. I will say graphically, this is a gorgeous game. During the loading screens, they'll have in-game images, and there's been a couple times where I thought it was a actual photograph of an NFL game. So that is how good the graphics are in still mode, at least. Mutant, or we'll get to the Mutant League, but there's another MUT I want to talk about. Madden Ultimate Team, which is kind of the draft element where you can build your own team, where the microtransactions come into play. If you want to buy booster packs of cards, you have that aspect. Or if you don't want to spend any real-life money, you can just do in-game drills and stuff like that to get the money. So I like that aspect. You can actually compete in the MUT ability, or in the MUT scenario, without spending money. Of course, if you want to spend money, you can get that leg up. The biggest, I guess, gameplay addition of this year's Madden is, for the very first time, there is a story mode.
Yeah.
When it comes to Madden, a single player RPG, well, RPG in the loosest sense. And I don't mean this as a slight to Telltale, but have y'all ever played any of the Telltale RPG, like Walking Dead?
Yeah,
the
I have.
Batman. Okay, Game of Thrones. It's very similar to that. You're prompted to do some quick time events every now and then, like left, right, down to select, or maybe dodge a defender or hit square to quarterback or something. I will say again, graphically, it's very, very impressive. They have models that their characters are based after. You have Scott Porter from Friday Night Lights. He played Jason Street. That's your best friend. You have I'm blanking on his name. He played Diamondback in Luke Cage on Netflix.
Oh yeah, man, he's great.
And he looks spot on. Again,
Nice.
This is a graphically amazing game. But so far, I have not finished Long Shot mode. That's what they call their story mode. I haven't finished it, but at the same time, this isn't anything that I'm like, oh my god, I can't believe this. This really feels like your own version of Friday Night Lights, but it's not written from the people that gave you Friday Night Lights. So it's almost like a fan-made Friday Night Lights. And it even has Jason Street in it. So, yeah, this is literally just a second-rate Friday Night Lights episode you're playing. Not that that's bad, I guess. I love Friday Night Lights. Clear Your Eyes, Full Heart, Can't Lose. They even make a joke to Jason Street about Friday Night Lights, which I liked. But the reason I'm bringing this up on today's episode is because I took advantage of some of the tools that Madden 18 gave you. You can create teams, you can create plays, but what I'm talking about, you can create players.
Yeah.
So we got 3 players right here in this podcast, at least players in our own mind.
That's right.
So I decided to create all 3 of us, Justin Krutzinger, Matt Weaver, Landon Doan, in Madden 18, putting us on our, I guess, teams respectively. That would be the Bengals in Jay's case, the Bears in Matt's case, and the Titans in my case. And I went Larry Wilmore and kept everything 100. All of our stats are 100. We are gods among men in Mutant League Football in this franchise version of Madden. So
Best
what I
draft
did
class
was
ever.
absolutely, we are literally the best ever. Though statistically, one of us might have ended up being the best ever.
Okay, can't wait to hear it.
I'm gonna build towards the top. Jay, I have some bad news.
Oh God, did I break my leg on the first play?
No. You made it through your season.
Traded to the Raiders.
Healthy. No. Your Bengals, they went 5-11, but
Damn.
it was not for you trying. In your rookie season, you were able to pull in 3 interceptions.
Okay,
with 65 tackles, 43 of them being solo.
nice.
Not bad.
One-man wrecking crew out there.
Exactly.
By the way, did you say I was a free safety? I was playing free safety.
Yes. Sorry, I probably need to mention our positions. Jay was the free safety that every wide receiver dreamt about the night before and had night terrors because, once again, he was 100 on everything.
Coming across the middle, you better second guess. You better be hearing those footsteps because your head's coming off. Ass.
Yet, not only did you come across the middle, you owned the middle.
That's
So,
right.
Place at the table.
Yeah. I actually, you went 8-8, just missing out on the playoffs. My mistake. Where I got 5-11 from, we're going to head a little bit north, and that is where wide receiver Matt Weaver and the Chicago Bears finished dead last in the NFC North. Sorry about that,
You didn't help their
5-11.
fortune.
But Matty Weave had a pretty good rookie campaign. He finished with tied for first on the team, actually, with 1,002 yards total receiving, 11 touchdowns.
Whoa.
Nice. That's a
And on
machine.
top of that, 55 receptions. So you were a PPR monster.
No kidding. I was about to say, if we were fantasy drafting, I would have pulled you
absolutely.
in the late rounds.
But speaking of fantasy monsters, and I cannot emphasize, I did not alter these outcomes.
Oh, sure.
You didn't play a couple of games.
Hand to God. I finished my rookie campaign as the running back for the Tennessee Titans with 1,796 yards on the ground, 8 touchdowns rushing, 400 yards through the air, another 3 touchdowns.
You crossed the 2K all-purpose yard mark.
Yeah, I was 2K all day, but not like Adrian Peterson's parenting skills. But then my Titans, they went 12-4, so that means they win the AFC South and go to the playoffs, where they beat the 15-1 New England Patriots in the AFC Championship game to go on and beat the Seattle Seahawks 20 in the Super Bowl,
Wow.
where Landon Doan ran for 3 touchdowns. That is the official Nerd News Cafe prediction of this upcoming NFL season. The Tennessee Titans are your Super Bowl champions, led by me in the Super Bowl, where I break literally every offensive record possible. So, yeah, that's Madden. 4
I
out
don't
of
know
5
how you
stars.
top that.
Yeah.
And I am God's gift to football. You're welcome, everybody.
Wowee. Yeah, they really put the season on your shoulders, and it sounds like you handled it well, man.
Yeah, sounds
Good
like
job.
no one else did anything else.
Yeah, really hate it for DeMarco Murray. He is still in his prime, but when you have a once-in-a-generation, not only person, talent in the building, you have to give him the rock all day,
Feed him.
every day.
Beast
Yeah,
mode. Forget beast mode.
Feed that monster. Yeah.
There is no beast mode anymore. Who's beast mode?
That's right. Terrible. You're done.
This is the new beast mode. Landon shows up in blue face paint every day.
And different type of beast mode. I'm protesting beast mode. That's how good I am. I only need one arm to carry the rock coming out of the backfield because the other arm is carrying a protesting beast son.
Let me ask you this. Did you do a straight-up simulation just to see what Madden predicted for this upcoming season?
I did do a straight-up simulation as well. I did a couple simulations, once with just your and my characters, once with Matt's, and then I did a straight-up one. The Titans performed well in all 3. So
Really?
according to Madden, the Tennessee Titans are going to be the top wild card because in one of the simulations, the Jacksonville Jaguars went 14-2.
Okay.
Yeah, with their 2 losses being to the Tennessee Titans, but the Titans didn't make it to the Super Bowl in that year. In the simulation, and this is going to be just straight up chalk, it is the New England Patriots defeating the Green Bay Packers in the Super Bowl.
Boring.
See, that's why mine's way more fun.
Yours is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So vote for me to score literally every touchdown in existence. I guarantee you, if you draft me on your fantasy team, you will win.
I like this callback because we did mention last year going into the Super Bowl the accuracy with which Madden has been able to predict Super Bowl winners over the last several years because of the painstaking measures they take to give the statistical the ability skill numbers to their players and how they every week they tweak them, and going into the Super Bowl they've got it dialed in pretty well.
Oh, yeah.
And remember
It's a
last year
science.
the prediction was that New England would make a comeback and win,
Oh, yeah.
and they did.
And they did.
Lo and behold,
So
Crazy.
yeah, it's insane. So the question is, are the games fixed? The Super Bowl, and they just do whatever Madden said
I
they
just
should
do
do.
it. Yeah.
It's all a
the
money
answer to
grab.
that question is yes. Wait, no.
Yes.
I'm going to say no because EA's agents have now shown up outside my door. So, we know too much.
I did watch one of the, and I'm sure you guys have seen this for some of the teams, but as I follow the Chicago Bears on Facebook,
Da Bears.
They had a lot of guys on there that tried to guess their rating in Madden.
Yeah.
Some of them were on.
Oh God!
I'll just let you
can only
know.
imagine it's just a bunch of sad trombone noises.
Well, that's not nice. But to kind of solidify your thoughts is that the kicker and the punter name there is right on the dot. And
Of course they did.
And all the offensive players were off because they guessed high and it was lower.
Yeah.
It wasn't lower by much. It was like one guy said 80 and it was like 71, and then
That's a pretty big drop off.
yeah,
Ooh,
and
yeah.
then
Ooh.
the defensive. I'm trying to think of his name.
I bet wide receivers were like, I'm a 99.
Exactly. Yeah.
You are an
I'm the
81.
greatest
They
of all
had
time.
none of the quarterbacks on this little thing I saw, but they had some of the defense. And I want to say, God, what's his name? I'm at a loss right now. I think his last name's long. He he guessed like 75, and it was like 60 something. And he was like,
Oh, well, real quick, have you seen that NBA players and 2K have been getting into social media fights because 2K players are pissed off at their NBA 2K ratings?
That's funny. That's awesome.
Like one of them invited, his name's Ronnie, with 2K, invited Ronnie to his wedding because apparently they're like decent-ish friends, and he got called on it at his wedding.
holy crap!
That's awesome.
Man, I love the fact that athletes are as so anal retentive about their Madden skills as us gamers are, or NBA skills.
Well, I mean,
That's cool.
it's PR.
And
It is PR.
And going into Matt's discussion about people trying to guess their ratings, you have to, if you're a professional athlete, you've got to have a certain confidence and ego about you to do what you do. So it doesn't surprise me that they were guessing high, except unless you're a kicker, in which case you're usually the weirdo anyway. So you're like,
Yeah, exactly.
I think the punter said 50 something, and he was like maybe off by one. He said 58, and it was like 57 or something like that. And then the kicker was like, I think I'm a 60, and it was like, it was pretty close to his too. I think one of them got it right on. I want to say it's the kicker got his right on, but it was like, they're like, yeah, they're like,
good.
It's the only time that those two guys will get to hand slap together.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool. All right.
It was pretty cool.
Go pick up Madden, make your own beast modes,
Beast mode.
and then tell us
We
who
prefer
wins.
Mutant League.
Yeah, Mutant League. Tell us who wins your championship if you're a Madden player. Madden, it's just like you said, the gameplay year over year is always going to feel familiar. It's going to feel like home. Covering up in a nice, comfy blanket that smells like you.
And I'm sure there are some like really in-depth tweaks that they made to the gameplay, but I haven't found them yet. And I'll be honest, I'm not the type of person who plays it on like legendary mode, who has to, know the ins and outs of everything. I just want to play a damn game, and Madden does that in spades.
There you go.
I went to coach mode just because I don't know. It's too many buttons to do too many things. Like, I feel like the stiff arm, like you can individually choose the fingers you want out and don't want in, or, and that maybe, how far I can extend my elbow and, how much shoulder strength I put into my forearm. I mean, there's way too much going
They've
on in
gotten
Madden.
very intricate with the controls.
Because now you can do like spin dives and you can do like corkscrews and Hadoukens. And I mean, I don't even know what's going on half the time in the game. So I'd rather just coach.
Fair enough.
Yeah, if you can get a secondary with a Hadouken, you are unstoppable, especially at the higher difficulties.
Maybe I should start coaching on Overwatch. Is that an option?
I don't know. That would be interesting. Can you withdraw from the FPS? I will say this.
Those who can't do.
That's right, coach. Well, Battlefield 4 used to have a commander. And if you had a tablet, you could be in commander level and you could tell your units where they need to be over the battlefield. Now, you're still playing, but you can kind of give it a little...
Listen, don't get me wrong. I have command over my unit, okay?
Do you?
At least for now.
Oh, okay.
I know I'm getting old, but...
Your facilities, as it were.
All right. Well, Matt, it's your time to shine. Is there anything in particular that you've been kind of roasting on that you wanted to bring up today? You got any crazy fan theories?
I did have a fan theory. I have some roasts, and they're not fair, so I'm going to hold on to them. I watched a lot of Starship Troopers, but I won't get into it at this moment in time and space. But I do want to talk about that. I think that GTA 5 is the evolution of, or the progression of time from the Assassin's Creed games.
Okay.
And the reason that I think that is because if you think about Assassin's Creed, they're willy-nilly about anybody they kill. We're taking down dictators. We've got two factions that have fought for years and times again. We barely get to see the reality that the person in the Animus lives in. You get to see little tidbits of what the two characters you follow are, or at least where they live and the society that they live in. But they dress similar to the GTA people. But let me tell you the smoking gun. As Landon, I'm building to the top here. The smoking gun is, in Assassin's Creed, if you want to avoid being arrested or right out killed in the town, in pretty much all the games, you just hide, right? You step away, you go into the shadows.
Get on that bench.
You get on that bench. GTA... You do the same thing. You go to your apartment, you get in a different car.
Lay low for about 15 minutes.
15 minutes, and they forget about you.
Just get out of sight.
It's the same.
Hide under the interstate.
Yeah, it's the same police. It's the same police. So think about it. As society has gone on, nothing has gotten better for the security and defense of people in this world. And it's uber violent.
I mean, that's how it really works, right? I mean, If you keep your nose clean for a good 5-10 minutes,
Absolutely,
you've
the real world.
changed your path.
That's right.
You deserve a second, third, fourth chance.
I mean,
Absolutely.
even though
they
you
didn't see you shoot a rocket launcher into that orphan.
That's right. You didn't steal a jet and just light up Grand Central Station with it for no reason.
Well, you did, but now you've changed your ways.
You ejected, so you're no longer in possession of the jet. So you're not really a threat, and you're at home. I mean, what are you going to do from your
You
apartment?
stopped killing people for at least 2 minutes.
At least 2 minutes. I know, and it's the same
That's
way.
a lifetime.
That's what I'm saying. So Assassin's Creed, if you go through time, we've just evolved into Grand Theft Auto. That's
Okay.
all it is.
Yeah.
So if somewhere in Grand Theft Auto there's a sketchy looking building, and that's where the Animus is.
So the people controlling the avatars in Grand Theft Auto are actually people from the future that are going back, and these are like the
Yes.
ancestors.
Yes, everybody you see has ancestors in there. Even that woman who's like complaining with her coffee in her hand. Well, I just told her, and that where you throw her out in front of a bus.
Excuse me.
Oh man, that woman gets a beating every time. Actually, anybody who says anything to my character on the sidewalk. It's not. It's
That calls for a beating.
Dogs, trees that sway wrong. I mean, I'm breaking everything. Yeah.
That's what you do.
I don't like anybody in the game. I actually got in trouble. Well, I had a sad moment the other night too. On a side note, I'm so scared for my life when I play online because everybody wants to kill you the minute you're in the game.
You spawn, you're dead.
So
That's me in Overwatch.
yeah,
Sorry.
so something was happening. There was an event that happens quite often in this game. It's like, oh, kill the most people doing this, steal the most cars doing this. And it was something where you had to protect this guy. And I just, for whatever reason, happened to be near this guy everybody was going after. No one shot at me, but the first person I shot, I lit into him with an AK-47. I was like, you're dead. I don't want you to kill me. You're dead. And then I ran away, grabbed a car, and drove to the country. And then I got a message on my pretend cell phone on there, and it said, hey, man, I was just trying to help you out. I was like,
Oh,
doesn't it feel bad? I was like, oh, dang it. So I sent a message back. I said, I'm sorry. I don't know who's friend or foe anymore.
You've been jaded, man.
I mean, I have.
Everyone's an enemy.
Even this one guy was like honking his horn at me. I threw a C4 on him and blew him and his car to Kingdom Come and ran away. He goes, I was trying to get you to come in for a mission. It's 100,000. I was like, sorry. And he left the game. I was like, well, that was that.
Matt, maybe okay, fool me once, shame on
You.
them.
Yeah.
Fool me twice, not going to be fooled again.
Exactly.
To quote a different president, but it's like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Maybe try and play a little.
You need to learn how to make
Actually,
friends.
I did try to make friends, and
Come on,
somebody
love a little.
blew me up with a helicopter. I was following them because I thought they were going somewhere interesting, and then they flipped around and rockets away, and I was like, well, that's not fun.
Rockets away.
So, yeah, I think it's the same world. I'm
Okay.
almost positive it's the same world. Now, I don't see any hooded figures getting, hidden blades, but even Assassin's Creed, you were nondescript, and that was the whole purpose of it. So, probably in the back alleys, you don't see lots of hidden blades and guts. It's happening.
Well, heck, I'm sure there will be some sort of DLC to put some hoods in Grand Theft Auto, kind of like in Final Fantasy 15.
Right?
That was cool. I will say, you guys seem to have found that, but that was in the Final Fantasy game.
Yeah, there's a new piece of DLC coming out. There's some event where if you do X, Y, and Z in Final Fantasy 15, you get Assassin's Creed gear.
It was really cool.
The game. I mean, like you can already get the hood, so you can walk around like you're Altair or something. So that's cool. But
But I mean, they got that mod tool on Grand Theft Auto 5 now, which I just watched a guy take down several police cars with a well gun. And it's exactly what it sounds like. He's shooting massive blue wells at these cars and helicopters. And when he shoots the gun, it almost throws him on his butt when he does it every time. And it is the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's like, I mean, he's just,
that's awesome.
There's blue whales everywhere.
This sounds like Gmod to me.
It is. It's a crazy. It's that tool they've given back after they took it away, and I can see why people were pissed it was gone.
Shooting.
I need a well gun.
Because I was picturing a spear gun when you said that.
That's why I kind of.
But no, it literally.
I buried the lead,
shoots
and then
blue whales.
blue whales, and they were laying everywhere. Like he had to run around them.
That's
they
a
were still
disaster.
alive.
Poor
It
whales.
was like Sharknado.
So it's like
but
sucking
better.
them out of their happy ocean life.
It's like
they suddenly appear coming out of a gun, and they're like, "What has happened?"
Well, now that seems doubly cruel.
It is
Yeah.
really super
Well,
cool.
in this world, like in the clip I saw, evidently half of San Andreas, is that what it is, was underwater anyway. So
Los Santos.
Los Santos.
Los Santos, sorry.
Come on, get it right.
I know. I don't pay attention to names. I
Do you even game, bro?
I take the cars, bruh. I take the cars
Oh,
in
there you go.
cash.
I'm only here to like totally kill hookers and steal their money.
Right?
I don't even pay attention. We do have one. I was playing it, and the kids have been banned to even be in the room with me now anymore because it's gotten to the point where I have to turn the sound down and everything. It's a pretty nasty game. But there's a prostitute that lives beside my apartment, and when I get the car out, they have appropriately named her Linda the Lot Lizard, and so we say hi to Linda every time I leave the apartment. But now they don't get to play. They don't get to watch me play.
All right. Because we are running long, and because
always.
I'm looking at the recorder and we're a little low on battery again today,
Uh-oh.
I think we need to get to our no shirt shout out.
Yes,
If you don't mind, gentlemen.
I'm done.
All right, sounds good.
This was something we threw out on our Twitter at nerd_news_cafe. We talked about it last week, and the question this week was, which dormant franchise would you like to see resurrected? And I put an example, Justin Lin's Knight Rider project, because he's involved, by the way, in David Hasselhoff's gritty reboot of Knight Rider. We got some good responses. The first one came from David Krebs. He said Back to the Future. He wants more Back to the Future. And
It's
gotta
a
tell you,
continuation. It'd be
I'd
cool.
be okay with that.
I'm fine with
Continuation, I'm fine with.
it. I love Back to the Future. I love that world, so I'd be down.
Yeah, continuation, not a retelling of Marty's story.
Thank you.
A continuation.
Thank
you.
Yes.
Eric Lehman threw out Blade, but then he said he actually answered before he listens. His real answer would have been Labyrinth.
Yeah,
So
I can
you
understand.
nailed
that.
it.
He's a big Labyrinth guy.
Yeah.
So Blade's Labyrinth.
Blade in the Labyrinth, because they don't have David Bowie, so bring Blade in.
Just you do have Wesley Snipes.
Just
though.
make it Wesley Snipes.
He can be the Goblin King.
Because we all know he needs money.
Yeah, he's got taxes.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Oh, and then I told him, answer as many times as you want, throw out whatever, and he was like, well, while we're talking about it, why not more Transformers? And as I
He
responded,
used to be a cool guy.
I responded,
Ouch.
I have great news for you, sir. Those are never going to end.
Yeah.
So
How about new with a new ... director? How about,
Now, if you want to reboot something, I'm ready.
how about hold on, guys, a dark, gritty... no, never mind.
I think, McKenna, come here. Is that a suggestion for what you want a new version
You're
of?
a little late on your shout out.
Is
but
that
can
why
make it.
you want to come in here and vote?
I think they had a continuation of that.
Space Jam. Man, I want Space Jam,
Okay.
but
I-
I want Michael Jordan to still be in it.
Okay.
Now,
Like, yeah, still, I don't care. But like, he's older, so it'd be funny.
he'd be coaching.
Yeah,
It'd be
that's right.
funny.
He can coach. Okay.
Actually,
the
you
old
already have
man.
that. It's called the Charlotte Bobcats.
Well, it's funny McKenna mentions that because that's one of those movies it seems like every couple years is rumored to be either rebooted or remade. Because like it feels like LeBron James 2 years ago, there was a lot of like groundswell, like, yeah, we're going to do a new one and LeBron's going to be the new MJ.
Right.
Do you? And this is way off. Do you think that's because they grew up with those movies and they idolized being in it?
Maybe.
And it's like now they have the power,
Possibly.
the money, and the popularity to drive that train.
Who does not want to be on a basketball team with Bugs Bunny? I mean, come on.
And Bill Murray.
And Bill
Hells
Murray.
To the, yeah.
Now, Bill Murray, you had me, and Bugs Bunny, I'd give or take.
Well,
You shut your dirty mouth.
I got involved in
More of a
responding
daffy
as
guy.
well. I said, I think the no-brainer here is Firefly. I think I'd have a lot
Yeah,
of people on my
I was-
side with that
yeah.
one.
Yeah, I was going to jump in. At first, I thought it was just movies, so I was going to be like, yeah, let's do Serenity. And then when I realized TV was on board, yeah, can we just get a Firefly reboot?
Right.
Or just a continuation? It doesn't necessarily have to be the continuation of Serenity and Captain Mal. I mean, that whole verse is untapped. So, do something with it.
Would you be okay somebody else taking it over, though?
What, not Joss?
The Captain
Not
job.
Juice.
Oh, not Jaws.
Not Juice. Because you got to remember, all these reboots and continuations are someone else.
You know what? At this point, and especially with the real life news that has happened with Joss Whedon
I
here
know.
recently, I don't think it would necessarily be a bad thing. Like, as long as it still hits the same beats and notes that Joss's Firefly hit. Now, granted, that might be hard because if everybody could do what Joss Whedon did, Joss Whedon wouldn't be, a god among nerds. But at the same time, it's like, if you can keep it in that universe and make it still feel like it's from him, I'm absolutely fine with it.
Well, knowing that was going to be Landon's option, I threw out something else, and I said Buffy. But here's what I want to say about that. Because on Twitter,
you had Angel.
On Twitter, of course, I'm limited to my characters, so I couldn't expand on it. But it doesn't have to be Buffy. It doesn't have to be Angel. But let's see something new in that universe.
You just want that world. That's cool. I get that.
So I really enjoy both of those shows, and I think it'd be fun just to kind of explore something else, maybe in a different town. So
that could be fun. And
you could bring in Buffy and Angel. I think they would both still be down with doing that. So
almost kind of feels like what they're doing with Supernatural. Haven't they already announced that there's going to be a spinoff of like?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like it's still going to take place in that same universe they've already set up with the Winchesters, but it's not going to necessarily star them. But what's not to say that Sam can't show up every now and then?
I have my own theories on that on my Supernatural part. No. No, I'm telling you right now, man.
That's behind the Patreon.
That's behind the Patreon wall, guys. Sorry, you're gonna have to pay for those. They tried to do a spinoff with that show, and it did not go well. The kids were too young; it was too removed from what they were doing, and basically, it was like vampires and werewolves against each other kind of thing. And so I think they went away from it.
Let me get some clarification. Did they do like a younger version of Sam and Dean?
No.
Okay.
That's already in the show. They do flashbacks constantly in that show.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But okay, see, I didn't know that they already did some spinoff in that universe. So all right.
So it didn't go well, and they're working on another one. So that's cool.
Well, this looks like it's going to be a 50-50 between Eric and David. So
unless you want to award yourself.
I think we should get Bixby involved here. Hi, Bixby.
God.
Oh, Jesus. The show's gone so well up until this
Flip
point.
a coin.
And somehow she's going to figure out, did you want to launch?
Wait, before I do that, I have to say who's heads and tails. Let's say Eric is heads and David is tails. Okay. Hi, Bixby. Flip a coin.
All right. It came up heads.
Thank you. God, was that so freaking hard.
Are you sure?
Have you forgotten who was heads now?
Bixby. Yeah, I said your name, you bitch.
Did she dictate what you're saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, she's definitely dictating. She's taking notes.
Yeah.
She's like Santa Claus, but, real.
So heads was Eric. So
there you
congratulations, Eric. You are the proud owner of the digital version of Generations The Best.
Man, E-Rock is running away with it.
Yeah. And that was a really good one. I think you're going to like it. I don't know, Eric, if you're a Wolverine guy, but who is not a Wolverine guy? That's what I ask.
That did sound like a good book when you were describing it. So definitely think he's got a good one there.
Yeah. And unless we want to do Secret Empire next week, we can do Thor.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I think I can jump back on that Secret Empire horse because, guys, I'll be honest, I do want to see where this story goes, but I'm getting a little bit fatigued on it because this story keeps going and going and going and going.
It's the Energizer Bunny.
It's deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole.
Well, in all honesty, my biggest thing that's keeping me going through the Secret Empire is how they're going to get themselves out of the corner that they painted themselves into with Captain America.
Well, let's make this week's poll about events, comic events.
Sure.
So, because I think that what you're saying is true for a lot of people, and it's not just about Secret Empire, it's just event fatigue in general. So
yes. Oh my God, yes.
So why don't we build this week's No Pants poll around how do you feel about comic book events? Is it something that you're down for? Is it something that you're getting tired of, or do you avoid them completely?
Yeah. Do you just try to stay out of those?
Yeah, just stick with
shoot
the main
off stories.
storybook lines. What do you think of that?
I like that, but I feel like I could answer myself in every one of those answers. Unfortunately,
because it depends.
It really does depend because if there's a good story to tell, like the original Civil War, it's like it crossed over in everything. But I thought the original Civil War story was good, but then staying with Civil War 2, that story did not need to be told. was crossed over on everything, and then immediately after Civil War II, we go right into Secret Empire, which, oh, by the way, after Civil War II, previously, right before that was the Secret War. So it's just one event after another, and it's like they literally lay on top of each other. And it's like if they spread them apart and gave them time to breathe, maybe that would be better. But it's like, especially in Marvel, it's like DC has gotten better with this. I will give DC credit for that, but Marvel specifically here recently has been nothing but big event with tie-ins after big event with tie-ins after big event with tie-ins. And it's just like, if they're good, it's cool. But for me, at least, they're not doing it.
So maybe the question needs a fourth response, which would be, it depends on the story.
Okay. Yeah.
Story relevant.
Yeah. So we could say, I love the events. I'm down. I'm getting tired of them. I avoid them, or it depends.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Does that work?
Yeah, that works. Sorry
covers the
to you have to make a fourth response for me.
No, it's fine. I like that because people are going to be thinking that. But here's the thing. I know you're limited on a poll. You can only pick one. But what you can do is talk to us about it.
There you go.
That's what we ask you to do every week. You can use our forum. You can use Twitter if you like. You can use the Facebook fan page. You can email us. Guys, you can get in touch with us in so many ways. So many ways.
Show up at Jay's house. His address is 3
Matt, go into further detail about where people can find us, and then we'll do the plugs.
Well, you can find us at Twitter at nerd_news_cafe. You can hit us up on YouTube because I haven't always plugged that one until the end, so I'm moving it up there at Nerd News Cafe. You can find us on there. You can go to the website, which is nerdnewscafe.com. Has everything. We'll get you there, which also has the Facebook page that you can hit us up on. I have been a bad boy and forgot a couple of posts on there. It has been a rough week.
Shame.
but I will get back in the rhythm. I will put us back in the spotlight we deserve to be in. So, and do not forget the forum, guys. The forum is the way to go. And if you want to be secret about your messages to us, where you tell us how great we are in a 4-page letter, you can hit us up, nerdnewscafe@gmail.com.
Though I do want to mention on those 4-page emails, you have to, in your signature, include your social security number and your bank account. You have to. Otherwise, we don't get those emails.
That's right.
I'm sorry. That's just the way our
Your
forums
routing
are
number.
set up.
Routing numbers.
Yeah, because somehow your emails are sent through our forums.
What can we do?
Which, by the way, you need to go sign up for at nerdnewscafe.com.
Absolutely.
It is so
We
easy.
cannot emphasize that enough.
It doesn't look like a normal link. It's big letters. They're kind of goldish colored. Go down. It's like visit the forum. If you click on that, it will take you to the forum, and you can sign up and be a part of it and join
and
in
post
this
all
community
your pornography there.
if you want.
Wait, no, don't do that. Do not do that.
We do have administrators. Do not think you're going to get something by us. Because we
Though, to be
pay
fair,
attention.
I am one of the admins, so God knows what I'm going to
You will get things by us. That is going to happen.
So I'm guessing this is the point where you want me to lock us out,
Hit
right?
it. Well, no, you got to do your plug, and Matt has to do his, and then you lock us out.
No. After last week, Matt doesn't get a plug.
Oh,
Go
shit.
ahead.
Oh,
I'll allow it because I am a benevolent dictator.
I even plugged for you last week.
You did plug for me. Yeah, you did. So Matt, you're good with me. Jay, come talk to me after class. We're gonna have to speak.
Oh.
Your impression of me, while spot on, not nearly drunk.
Not nearly drunk enough for enough burps.
Yeah, you got to get the Mortys in there.
That's right. So, Tracking Trek podcast, still doing that for now. No, just kidding. If you guys are interested about Star Trek Discovery, you want to know what's going on before it comes out, it has a time now. I'll tell you on that, but I'll tell you on here, it is September 24th at 8:30. It will be the only one on network TV because it will go behind its paywall thereafter. But yeah, if you guys want to catch up, we cover the trailers, we go over the news, we talk about everything that has to do with Star Trek Discovery. Tracking Trek podcast. You can find us on Twitter at Tracking Trek Pod.
Very cool. I'm actually going to be watching that debut episode, so I might try and fat guy flip myself into your podcast to give you some of my thoughts.
Sounds good.
because
Sounds
I
good.
can do that. And speaking of things I can do, I can lock us out. So for Justin Krutzinger and Matt Weaver, my name is Landon Doan. We thank you for joining us on another edition of Game of Thrones Talk. Wait a minute. No, this isn't Game of Thrones Talk. That comes at you every Thursday at buttmunchchips.com. Yeah, you like that? You thought I was going to lock us out. But for real, we've been great. You've been Nerd News. Good night. See, I'm changing it up. I'm flipping the script.
We've been great. You've been Nerd News. It needs to stay that way. I like that better.
Yeah.
You like that? Yeah.
That was even better. Awesome.
Yeah. Glad y'all liked it.
I wanted to tell you really quick my funny story about Lucio Ball that I tweeted you, or texted you.
Yeah, you straight up teased me and then left me hanging.
Yeah, because I wanted to tell you live because I'm excited about it. So
Are you still rolling? This might be a perfect secret sound.
yeah, I am. So I decided to jump into competitive Lucio Ball because honestly, I feel like I'm pretty decent at Lucio Ball compared to the people that I play against. First of all, I play my damn position, like because
I'm a power forward. I'm
No.
a power forward.
if it puts me at goalie, I stay at goalie. It's not that hard to understand. If it puts me at forward, I play forward. I play my side of the damn field. I do my job. That's what I do.
He's out there every night giving it his all. What the are you doing?
So
Luke goes, oh, God, I just don't know if that Lucio's going to be able to stop us over here.
yeah, because here's the thing. If everybody plays their position, it's not that hard. Because the other team, I promise you, will not.
Exactly. They're going to treat it like StarCraft 2 and just Zerg. Just kick.
Yeah. So I have gotten
Know your role.
I've gotten pretty good at going top shelf with the ball. Like
Okay.
if the ball is rolling midfield, you're dead. You're done. Unless you're a really good goalie, because some people can time their jumps really well.
Mm-hmm.
But even so, you give me a couple shots at it, forget about it. Forget about it. And if I get my ultimate charged and I can go in hyper mode, you're done as well.
yeah.
You are also done. I can
Play
just
them
tell
Warriors.
you. Yeah. So anyway, and I'm getting pretty damn good at being goalie too. Like I when it comes to like balls that are coming at me fast and high, I'm about 50-50. Sometimes I can time it, sometimes I can knock them out. But when they score, I'm like, you know what? Those are just good shots.
Yeah.
So anyway, I decided to play competitive, and and I started out first 2 games. You have to do 10 games to place you in a league, right?
Yep.
So
Go to
first,
the placement games.
so first 2 games I lost, and I was pissed because one of the games, this new thing has been happening lately where a person, not only does the goalie play goalie, but one of the other people decides, oh, I am also going to play goalie for the whole game. So it's just basically 1-on-3.
Oh, jeez.
So that happened in my first game. The second one, I was just playing with idiots, so I lost.
Dollar.
Yeah, but then I won the next 2. And so going into my 5th game, I was like, okay, I'm just going to play one more for now, and I want to have a win. You know, I want to have one more in the win column than I do in the loss column. Well, the same damn thing happened, except in this case, somebody dropped out, and in competitive games, it doesn't replace them. So for the rest of the game, 6 minutes, it was 3-on-2. So we got our ass handed to.
Oh,
Right.
that's brutal.
So I was pissed off, and I was like, no, I am not ending it here. So I played again, and I won. And I actually was like player of the game. I had several goals. I was fired up.
Nice.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, game 7. This is the tiebreaker, and then I'm going to stop for now. Go into the game. We were down. No, we were up. We were winning 3-2, and there were 5 minutes left. One of our guys left the game. And I was like, are you kidding me? So I was fuming.
Yeah.
Here's the kicker. We ended up winning 10-3.
Nice.
Whoa.
3-on-2, we won 10-3. And I don't know what it was, but like half the time, and the other guy was really good about like we were splitting it because sometimes it would start us both at forward, and we had to look back. We're like, oh, shit, somebody's got to take the goal. We were about half and half. Like
Yeah.
I would do it sometimes, he would do it sometimes. And we were just freaking on fire. They scored 1 goal when it was 3-2. They scored 1 goal on us, and then
That's insane.
And then we scored the next 7 because I don't know what happened, but like
Their goalie wasn't playing goalie.
no, they were playing goalie. They actually started turtling. Like they were all playing defense because we were coming at them. Essentially, what happened is they started playing not to lose, and we just started.
Butch Ball.
prevent
Yeah.
defense.
We just started dominating. So at the end of the game, like I stood up and I was like, "Hell yeah, you sons of bitch!" hell yeah! I was so fired up. I was like screaming. The guy sent me a message offline, and he was like, "Holy shit, we just held down that 2v3, didn't we?" And I was like, dude, I am virtually high-fiving you over here. I am like jumping off the freaking walls.
You're as bad as me.
I was fired
That's
up.
awesome.
I was
That's
so
awesome.
freaking fired up. So
I have to close
Please
the
tell me you
door.
sent him a friend request.
You should have.
I don't friend anybody.
Justin's like, hey, we did a great job. F- you.
I'm a one-man army.